we'll be reading an excerpt from the autobiography Wood Song. So the excerpt is called Storm. But before we read, you all, we have to become familiar with our vocabulary. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to use a vocabulary map called P.A.V.E. And it stands for, the acronym is prediction, association, verification, and evaluation. So this is a copy of the P.A.V.E. map. All right? And there are 7 steps to the P.A.V.E. map. Okay? We have a place where we put our context sentence. Who can tell me what context means?
The sentence that you're reading.
Good, the sentence from the story that we'll be reading. Jake snapped pictures of every new vista. So, on my P.A.V.E. map, I'm going to write that context sentence down. Okay, so next I'm going to write the actual target word, which is the vocabulary word vista. So now I have to get to the part where I'm going to make my prediction. Okay, so I'm going to look at it. Jake snapped pictures. So I know that it's something of every new vista. So I know a vista has something to do with something about what he's taking a picture of it. Okay, so I'm just going to assume. Most people like taking a picture of nice things, right? A nice view. So that's going to be my prediction, that it's a nice view. Okay, now that I know what the predicted meaning is, okay, I've made my prediction. Okay, now I have to create my own sentence. Well, I said that I predicted that a vista was a nice view. So, how can I use this in my own sentence? Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going somewhere, I'm taking pictures from where I have a nice view. So, from our motel room, we can see a vista of the parking lot. A nice view of the parking lot. I can see from above, so I have a nice view of the parking lot. Okay, now comes the part where I have to verify whether or not my prediction is correct. So that's when I'm going to use my dictionary. See, 2 different definitions. Okay, so I want to pick the one that's closest to my context sentence. Okay, that makes sense. The first definition that I have, a distant view through or along an avenue or opening. That's my first definition. Okay, my next definition is an extensive mental view. So, thinking he's snapping pictures, so I think I'm going to go with the first definition. Distant view from a high place. So now I'm able to verify, was my prediction correct? The part, now that I know what the word really means, I'm going to revise my sentence. So now, once I see that I have my revised sentence, now I need to create an image of the word image. Okay? So I'm going to base it on my revised sentence. Able to see that from a high place. Okay, so now we'll be creating our own P.A.V.E. maps for our vocabulary word is disengage. Can you all repeat it after me? Disengage. Okay. Regain. Regain. Okay. And emit. Emit. I'll give you all your context sentences for each one. I went back to the sled, reached down to disengage the hook, and when I did, the dogs exploded forward. Okay, that's our first context sentence from the text. Once we get that context sentence down, we can go to step 2 by just simply writing the target word, which is what again? Disengage. Now, we're going to go on to step 3, which is the predicted definition. Be sure to look at the context of the sentence.
Regain confidence. What about you? Regain.
Accelerate.
Okay, to release. Okay. All right. What about my group over here?
To unlock or unhook.
To unlock or unhook. Okay, I'll take one more. What are Linda and Tyrese? To unhook. Okay. Yeah, you have to use the word in a sentence, but it has to be based on your. That's what you all had to take off. Here, our step 4. Okay, our own sentences. Okay, Zoe's group.
Do not disengage the wires because it will shut down the whole series.
Okay, all right. Now it's the time for us to verify were our predictions correct or incorrect. Okay, so let's take out our dictionaries. All right, so what was the meaning? To unfast. To unfast. So we blind. Okay. All right. We've been able to verify our predictions back here. So what was the meaning of disengage?
Unfasten.
Okay, to unfasten. Okay, so our steps 6 and 7. Okay, we're gonna revise our sentence using that verified definition. All right, it's time for us to begin to start reading. But before we do, it's directed reading thinking activity. All right, let's look at what it asks us to do. All right, it says predict the content of the story by looking at the text feature.
Storm from Woodsong by Gary Paulson. It is always possible to learn from dogs. And in fact, the longer I'm with them, the more I understand how little I know. But there was one dog who taught me the most. Just one dog. Storm. First dog. Joy, loyalty, toughness, peacefulness, all of these were part of Storm. Lessons about life, and finally lessons about death came from him.
Our interpret question tells us to pause at line 14. Okay. It says, what does the narrator reveal about Storm's character here? So I want you all to look back at that paragraph. Okay. What did you all get? What details do you all get? Okay, he somehow resembles George Burns. So what does that say about him? What did you learn about him in that paragraph? Okay, he had a what? Okay. You all tell me what you read in 14. What does that reveal about Storm's character, that paragraph?
He was gray of color and he had a sense of humor. And when he grew true though, he resembled George.
Only the sled and the winter around the sled and the wind are there. Storm had the stick to tell me it was right. All things were right.
But let's look at the last question. It's an evaluate question where we're expressing our opinion. Okay? It says, do you believe that Storm really did the clever actions that the narrator tells about? Or do you think the narrator made up these things? Or perhaps in another way of saying he's exaggerating Storm's intelligence. Now, for whatever opinion you have to give a reason for saying that.
I think the narrator was not exaggerating because some dogs have that ability to do the things that he did.
Okay, all right.
I think that he really did have a relationship with a dog named Storm because it's kind of like the relationship I have with my other dog.
I think Storm really did the things the narrator is talking about because some dogs are smart and very clever.
We come in tomorrow, okay? We're going to get started on our think-tac-toe assignment, okay? As usual, you all know that we have to do 3 assignments, right? One will be a group assignment, and the other 2 will be an assignment, an independent assignment, okay? But you have the choice, okay? So I want you all, as you go home, I want you to think about it. You got to complete a character analysis for the main character of your story. Complete a character report card. Name and draw a person who is like one of the characters from the book. Build a miniature stage setting for your story. Draw a picture describing at least 3 settings from the story. Make up a limerick or a center-point poem about the setting of your story. Use a sequence chart or timeline to describe at least 7 events. write a new beginning or ending to the story, or make a game board about your story, including key events in order. So to get ready to exit, we're going to complete our exit slip, okay? Now I just want to know 2 things, okay? Write one thing that you learned today, okay? And did working with a partner make your work easier or harder? So please explain.